This is Toon Talk Weekly, episode 212. This week, Brad and I are foreign exchange students on a tropical island when we watch an episode of Mike, Lou, and Og.
All right, Og. Og, you're up. Og. These guys are hopeless. I wish I brought my Pocket Player video game. Action Guy versus the Aquanator. The Evil League throws ambush after ambush, but Action Guy's too tough. He uses the elbow of destruction. A game of games, action, adventure, and best of all, mayhem. Only 3 Action Guy arrows left. If I could just stop the giant tidal wave, I'll score 3 million points, destroy the league, and save all the baby whales. Yes! I did it! Who's the girl? Who's the girl? Fire on!
The day just keeps getting better.
Boy. Where is that kid?
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday once again. That means it's time for another episode of the weekly cartoon podcast, Toon Talk Weekly. That is, of course, this show. Wanted to thank you once again for joining us to talk all about cartoons this week. I'm Jake Williams, but I'm not going to do this show alone. From his vacation, we brought along Brad Chmielewski once again. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah,
should-
I'm out here on the beach, so it's windy,
Yep.
and this is the only place the internet works, is outside.
But you wanted to talk about cartoons so bad, you're like, I'm going to make it work.
That's right, yeah.
Really, I should have a nice beach photo of you instead of the one I've placed in its stead. But so hopefully you guys understand no video this week for Brad. But
Just put up, Johnny Bravo on the beach. That's me right now.
it's like it's a direct picture.
Yeah.
Beef jerky and maybe a beer or something.
Uh-huh.
Actually, has Johnny Bravo ever been seen with a beer? Probably not.
Yeah, no, that's not good for his waistline, right?
His waistline or kids in general. So welcome in, of course, to Toon Talk Weekly, guys, the weekly show where Brad and I talk about a new cartoon. This week we talk about the show Mike, Lou, and Og, which was actually a cartoon that I had completely forgotten about from Cartoon Network's kind of like late 90s, early 2000s cartoon block. It actually kind of made me realize, like, wow, for every show that you remember from cartoons or Nicktoons, these big blocks, you know, your Johnny Bravo's, your Powerpuff, your Dexter's Lab, there's probably more that were forgotten that weren't classics.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. It's kind of funny that way.
I mean, this one definitely like could fit the bill. I remembered it, but I don't remember hardly anything about it until watching an episode this week.
Yeah, no.
I did want to make one comment before we get into Mike, Lou, and Og real quick. Ethan, who was on our Harmon Quest episode, I think 2 episodes ago, we found out we both had CISO subscriptions. We're all ready, and then the day it was supposed to come out, I'm checking all day, and eventually they say it's not premiering that week. So I guess production got halted, so I don't know when I'm getting my Harmon Quest.
I probably got tied up with Rick and Morty.
That's true. Isn't that next week or tomorrow?
This weekend as we're recording it. Probably tonight. I think it's happening right now, actually.
Holy crap. So I need to watch all of it starting at the end of the show. I want to catch up. But let's talk about Mike, Lou, and Og, the series from Cartoon Network. It's actually a Russian-American animated TV series. It was created by Mikhail Shindel, Mikhail Aldashin, and Charles Swenson for Cartoon Network, and it was actually the 7th of the network's cartoons. So actually pretty early on in the cartoon programming block. The original release from 1999 to 2001, 2 total seasons, 26 episodes, and 52 segments. Something I found interesting about that background, Brad, was that it did mention a Russian-American animated TV series, and I didn't notice any... I believe the creator of Rugrats was also Russian or Eastern European or something, but both shows... This show reminded me a lot of Rugrats. Like, they have this like rough look to them, and I wondered if that was just a style of animation that was coming out of Russia at the time.
Yeah, I don't know. Huh.
So I thought that was pretty interesting, but didn't find anything that overlapped the creators or anything to see if that was true. The story of Mike, Lou, and Og, what you can expect from an average episode of the series, is that it follows a girl named Mike, who's a foreign exchange student from Manhattan, a self-appointed princess of the island named Lou, and a boy genius who's kind of like almost like a caveman type of deal. He's one of the natives of the island named Og. The trio takes part in a variety of adventures as Mike and the island's natives share customs with each other. I believe the backstory was that Mike applied to be a foreign exchange student and kind of like, as like a joke, said something about going to some far off island, and well, here she is, basically.
Oh, okay. I thought she was like washed up there.
I know it would make more sense. I would think that way. But it's not only an island that has like a native peoples there, but it's very different from what she's been used to in Manhattan. So a lot of the episodes actually feature her basically talking about how great New York culture is and like saying this is this thing. So
yeah,
you know, and this episode's kind of no different. Basically, it's actually one of the catalysts to get Og where he ends up in this episode. So we have our main characters. We have Mike, who's the 11-year-old girl from Manhattan, loves the features of the tropical island, misses the city. It's kind of how she's described. We have Lou, who's actually voiced by Nancy Cartwright, who voices Bart Simpson, probably her most famous role. And I looked that up first, and then I totally noticed it. It's one of those things you can't unhear.
I guess I didn't notice it listening.
Mm-hmm. Lou is a 10-year-old kind of dim-witted, self-proclaimed princess of the island, and also Og's cousin. She has a pet turtle named Lancelot, who was in this episode, but not really heavily featured. There are episodes that kind of follow him around a whole lot more.
Oh, okay.
She's usually trying to take advantage of Og or Lancelot in some sort of scheme. It's really what her thing is. And then Og is a 7-year-old native to the island, which is called Alban. I can't even pronounce it. Albanquitine. I don't know. Albanquitine? I'm going to get it wrong. He has a predisposition to scientific theory and discovery. This is a fun fact. They do show up in this episode, and I didn't know the significance until I looked it up. He's really close friends with 3 animals: a pig named Pig, a goat named Goat, and a porcupine named Spiny. And together they're all capable of speech and well learned in philosophy, and they get together and do these like philosophical roundtables where they discuss like Nietzsche and Plato and like historic philosophers and stuff.
Oh, okay. I guess when Mike brought them in our episode, you're like, look who's here. And it's like, there's a bunch of animals. Like, who cares?
Yeah. Do you just like animals? Is that what's going on here? Yeah. So I thought that was a pretty fun fact there. And it's something I totally didn't know. I kind of wish we got one of those episodes where we actually got to see that, because I think that would have been a lot of fun. So let's talk about the episode we watched for this week, which was Season 1, Episode 5B. It was entitled A Boy's Game. This episode first aired in 1999 on Cartoon Network. Beginning the episode, I think they're having kind of one of their average days where you would do something where Mike would be showing the customs of like maybe a game her and kids from Manhattan would play. And in this case, it was hopscotch.
Yeah.
It was pretty great, though, because trying to teach a native like Og, the 7-year-old boy, to play hopscotch, boy, was he just not getting it at all. Like, and of course, she could play it and was amazing at it.
Yeah, but he was just bored. It was boring.
Yeah.
Hopscotch is a boring game.
Yeah, could there be any better games around at all? Mm-hmm. And as, like, even Lou comes in, she mentions how, like, she doesn't think it's interesting either. Like, look, Mike, if you're going to bring games to the table, you got to bring something better than this. Even at one point, Og is off to the side looking at, like, a bug on like, a tree. That's more interesting to him. But then what we get is the small scene where Mike's even, like, a little bit missing her home kind of things that she enjoys from back home, and she starts mimicking or, like, miming that she's playing basically a Game Boy, which would have been popular at the time. And she's describing in detail what she would be doing in this like space blaster adventure, how many lives she has left, her power level, the villain she's fighting. She's totally role playing what she would be thinking of during this game. But meanwhile, Og overhears that, and she of course doesn't ask him to do anything, but he thinks he's so enamored with whatever this fantasy she's sort of dreamt up here. He sprints to his workshop, because that's what Og does. He tends to build inventions for the island, basically. And he comes out and he's built a Game Boy, a straight up like stone Game Boy, and it looks pretty awesome.
And programmed a bunch of games on it.
Like, the best part is, you said a bunch of games. It's not just this one little coconut stacking Tetris type game. Throughout the episode, there are like 7 different games that he's somehow programmed onto whatever chip is in these rocks.
Yeah, but it's a really hard games, I guess. No one can beat them.
Hey, Og! You okay? Sounds like you got some kind of garage band in there. Hey now. The Og player won. Cool. You drop him, I catch him. Piece of cake. Yes! 2 points! 2 points, baby! Hey, it just beat me. Okay, next game, I'll just, Hey! It beat me again! This isn't a game. This is punishment.
So I think what we've learned here is that Og is a really great engineer and a product designer, but maybe not a game designer. He's got to really nerf some of those games. They're just too strong.
Right.
There's a tier list of his games, and they're all way too strong. I believe Lou tries the game at one point, the kind of Game Boy, and just isn't interested. Mike assumes that she can beat the game because, of course, she, being from Manhattan, being from the civilized world, she's played a ton of these. She loses to... and this kind of sets up the catalyst of Mike brought an idea, or like put an idea in Og's head of something from her culture, and then it's the catalyst for how Og acts the rest of the episode. Even to the point of like Og starts showing very early signs of video game addiction, I think is just what we're going to call it. He's even like he's bumping into trees. He's almost walking off a cliff. His father is hunting something in the woods, and he even like gets in his way. And I think his dad only had like rubber darts or something, so it wasn't going to hurt anything. But I mean, dude, just totally like enamored with this game. And it completely escalates from there. Anytime they try to get Og to do anything, he starts getting bags under his eyes. He's just like, he's completely gone. I guess
I didn't, like, seeing all this happen, I'm like, where's the story going? I'm like, either he's going to win it and get bored, or, like, he's going to hurt himself and then realize it's not good, right? It's kind of like you saw what was going to happen, but at the same time, I was like, how long can they carry this on for? Because I'm like, they still have half of the episode to go through.
Yeah. I think it's one of those products of I was kind of in the same boat where I wasn't sure where the story was going. We actually haven't watched a show in a while, dude. That's just an 11-minute segment. We've been watching full shows that have kind of time to develop, and I think getting back into this sort of like brief episodic nature of these segments, you're like, where's this going? Like, not a lot's happening. But sort of the sort of climax, or what begins to happen in the rest of the episode here, is a monsoon comes. I like that their solution to the monsoon at this home is to just put up these umbrellas with holes in them throughout the house, and I don't know what that's doing. But
slowing the water?
I don't know. I guess so. The entire town's becoming flooded, and everybody's just wondering where Og is. For as intelligent as Og is... And would he create something for this? I think his family in this case wanted him to build some sort of pump to pump the water out of the village that's in this like valley. That's why it's all, it's becoming full.
I think they just wanted it out of their house, which doesn't help logistically, but yeah.
Yeah, there was a wide shot at one point where it showed like the town was like down a hill, so maybe I don't know. But yeah, they do. That's what they want it for. But he's still up on the hill. He doesn't care. Even when they get him back to the house, he's like shutting himself into cupboards and stuff just to keep playing this game because he really wants to do it.
Do you hear that? If this rain keeps up, we're going to need something to pump water out of this house.
Oh, a pump. Oh, what a simply marvelous idea. Do make one, Og.
Listen to your mother, son.
Here, Og. I, the royal personage, demand you stop playing that preposterous game and make me a hairdryer at once. Okay, make a pump, make a pump. For everyone's sake, Og, save the most important thing on this island. Mwah!
It's not until after the flood is basically happening. You mentioned earlier the 3 animals: his pig, his porcupine, and his what was the other animal?
Goat.
A goat that show up. They show up because they floated by on a leaf.
Right.
Because it's a torrential downpour. All of this has happened. He finally beats the game, and he's so excited that he beat the game. It's like he woke up from a trance. He looks around and he's like, "Oh, it's raining a lot. I should build a pump real fast."
Yeah.
Builds a pump.
Okay.
Yep, pumps the water out of the house. The family's happy. I don't know what else to say, but I think does the Game Boy end up getting broken at the end?
Yeah, when he won, he like held it up in the air and it got hit by lightning.
Oh, that's right. And the game he was playing had to do with lightning too. So he was
Like
playing a totally different game.
He was blocking the lightning coming down.
Yeah.
Like a Mega Man kind of end boss kind of thing it looked like.
That sounds awesome. And we kind of get like one more scene here where it's sort of like everything's back to normal on the island, so that, I think these episodes tend to have to do this kind of thing where everything has to reset and be okay, because next week you got to know the next episode's going to be okay.
Right.
It's going to be the island you're familiar with.
Or the next,
and that's
not even
generally
next,
the theme
not
of
even the
what
next
happened here
week,
in
right?
season 1, episode 5B of Mike Luinog, called A Boy's Game.
Yeah.
So this was a fun one. It was fun to go back and visit it. But Brad, I want to get your thoughts, just what you thought of the show. Do you remember this show being around at all?
Seeing it now, like I remember some of the characters, but there was something about it that just didn't didn't pull me in, or wasn't like I cared about it at all. It could have been maybe the style, although I like the style now. Maybe when I was watching it, I felt like, oh, this just feels immature and kind of maybe younger than what I wanted from a cartoon at that time. So,
yeah, I could see that. Especially compared to all the other cartoons that were around. Everything was like pretty clean edge, like lines and stuff. This is a little more rough, like just the design.
Yeah. But it was good. It wasn't like great, and maybe that's why it also like fell under the radar a little bit, cuz like watching it now, like it's fine. It feels like filler. But
okay, yeah.
It's not something like I need to go. I don't think I'll go watch more, but I don't mind watching it. So.
Yeah, the show kind of to me felt like, and actually I thought it came from, I didn't find any information on this, so if you know, let us know, but it felt like it actually came from one of those shows that was like a pitch show, where you'd get like a segment, a pilot almost.
Like a 5-minute kind of thing, yeah.
Right. And from there, I didn't know it was a full series, or I'd forgotten it was a full series. And now I'm wondering, like, this show does not have the nostalgia kick that I get when I watch Dexter's Lab, when I watch Powerpuff, when I watch Johnny Bravo, the Cartoon Network shows that I loved then. And I
right.
And I don't know if it's because maybe I just didn't spend as much time with the show, so it's not something that I'm like completely enamored with and remember the characters and like have this heartfelt connection with them. And to be frank, I forgot for however long it's been, 20 years, that it was a show, that it was around. So, yeah, I don't know, but it was fun to revisit. It felt like an older version of Rugrats to me, without, but on an island and a quirky kind of cast of characters. I mean, Og is literally the OG of this series. He's amazing. I think he's probably my favorite character on the show.
Yeah, of course. I think he's meant to be.
So, yeah, I don't know. A good show to revisit. I think some of the episodes are kicking around online. I don't know how much of this stuff Cartoon Network keeps around. I don't know that they keep their old catalog around that often, but you guys can definitely find these episodes out there by whatever means you might be able to find them.
The Google will deliver them to you in a fashion.
Just Google it and you'll be fine. Everything will be okay. So that's going to do it for this episode. Let's get out of here. Brad, where can people find out more about you when you're not recording Toon Talk Weekly or on vacation?
So you can follow me on Twitter. It's @brad, and my blog is digitalhitchhiker.com.
Great. Guys, go check them out there. You can follow me on Twitter @JacobWilliams. And, of course, you want more Toon Talk Weekly, we're on Twitter @Toon Talk Weekly, Facebook.com/Toon Talk Weekly. We're over on Google Plus as well as Toon Talk Weekly. That's very repetitive, but, hey, we got the same name everywhere. It's awesome. Or email toontalkweekly@gmail.com. And finally, the main hub for the show, guys, toontalkweekly.com. All the episodes, all 212 of them, are over there for you to view. Any you would like to dive into, that's the place to do it. Actually, we just found out that Nico and the Sword of Light recently, which we covered a while ago, from Amazon, got a full season. So they finally produced it all, and that's out now.
Finally. Okay.
So that's a show I wanted to revisit because I felt like we wanted to like it a lot, but we didn't. We only had the one episode to go off of.
Yeah, so there's no reason to like it a lot. We just liked it.
Yeah. Maybe now we'll like it a lot that we can actually go check it out a little more. I just remember that Jim Cummings, Darkwing Duck famed voice actor, voiced a giant beast in the swamp named the Mugwump. And that's what it's stuck in my head. So,
right.
So I haven't chosen the cartoon for next week, but we'll get something together for you guys, and we'll have that for you on Tuesday as usual. But this has been another fun episode of Toon Talk Weekly. We'll be back next week with another cartoon.
Take care.
To learn more about the show, visit toontalkweekly.com or follow us on Twitter @ToonTalkWeekly.